Hi everyone, and welcome to my review for Dreams in the Witch House on behalf of the Indie Game Collective. Live the life of Walter Gilman, who has recently enrolled at Miskatonic University to study advanced mathematics. Walter is examining the correlation between mathematics and the occult, and it soon becomes apparent that his interest in the latter is starting to creep into his life and haunting him in his dreams. Dreams in the Witch House is a mixture of point-and-click adventure and role-playing survival mechanics, based on the short story by H.P. Lovecraft. Walter only has 2 months before the May Eve festival and his demise, which equates to around 6 hours of gameplay, so you are against the clock. Most of that time will be spent just trying to survive, with 6 essential facets of his life that he needs to keep under control. Juggling all these factors hardly gives you any time to indulge in the other half of the game, which is the point-and-click adventure side, and I found that many storylines and puzzles were started but remained unfinished by the time the game ended. It is important to know that with so many survival mechanics, you won't be able to follow a story through to its conclusion without concentrating on one area and forgetting everything else. It will take you a playthrough to get your head around how everything works. The survival elements weigh so heavily on your performance and the ability to complete the point-and-click adventuring side of the game that I would only recommend this to people who enjoy survival elements and managing lots of different things at once within a tight budget restraint. Managing all your attributes is quite tough with the meagre amount of money you have to live on each week. Everything costs money, and the $10 you receive from your aunt each week is hardly enough to feed yourself, let alone worry about buying medicines to cure illnesses. You can perform the landlady's tasks for a pittance of $2 a day to boost your balance when emergencies arise, but it is often the case that you have to choose which ailment is more severe and deal with it, whilst others fall by the wayside. The allowance is sent on the understanding that you will do well in your studies, and that means revising for exams on the chosen topic and performing the exam by answering 5 questions. Reading the right subject matter gives you the answers to the questions that will be asked in the exam, but instead of conveniently highlighting the correct answer in the exam, you have to remember it, so you need to write it down on a piece of paper for later. I don't know whether this was for realism, but come on, give us a break. Almost all of your attributes will have some detrimental effect on your studies, if they're not kept within certain parameters depicted through a traffic light system. If you're overly tired, hungry, cold or sick, it will prevent you from concentrating on your studies and you will receive less points for your efforts. Gaining points in mathematics by reading your maths book, the occult by reading occult related books, and writing your thesis increases scores in those areas and has an effect on the story. You can read in your room or at the university, but to read in your room you will need to acquire a library card, which requires a bit of effort, and if studying at night, a working light bulb, which breaks endlessly. There is also a rat infestation in your room, so you will need to buy planks to cover the hole and stop the man rat from bothering you. There is an awful lot of things to think about, including chopping wood and burning it in the fireplace to keep warm, going shopping for food and essential items, visiting the pharmacy for medicines and sleeping aids, cultural events to attend, and even avoiding muggers at night. Putting aside all of the survival mechanics, there are elements of your traditional point-and-click adventure game somewhere. There are puzzles to solve, characters to talk to, places to go, and tasks to perform. But you never have enough time to do everything, so pick your challenge and go for it. That is why I said it will take you a playthrough to get the lay of the land and start formulating plans for which avenue to go down. Your first attempt will probably be a little disappointing on the story front if it was anything like my experience. I much prefer a good narrative and like to reach a satisfying conclusion in the story through one play, but the way this game plays out, it is easy to land in a position where you are a quarter of the way through lots of plots rather than finishing one line of inquiry. When the game ended, I was surprised, because it felt like the story was just starting to take off and get interesting, and I was disappointed that I was unable to finish any of the story arcs I had started. There's no inventory combining, but the puzzles can be quite challenging, especially if you're being chased, which is one section I did not enjoy. The time factor also plays a huge part in the puzzles, as you are always against the clock and there is no time to spare, and although you are not aware of this on your first playthrough, you soon realise the need for urgency on your second. Combined with the detrimental effects that your health can have on you, it creates a feeling of pressure and uneasiness. There are various places to visit and new characters are introduced as you progress. Travelling is easy and fast-tracked, and there are diaries, letters and even a to-do list to refer to. I don't really feel like I experienced much of a story in my first play, so I'll return at some point and concentrate on one area. I did enjoy my time with Dreams in the Witch House. It was an interesting experiment in mixing point-and-click adventure with open-world RPG survival elements, but I am now asking myself whether I want to go through another 6 hours of managing mundane tasks to keep myself alive, just to experience a disappointing ending, because the gameplay is quite repetitive. I enjoyed some of the elements like the studying parts, because it was interesting to find the books, read them and watch Walter slide into insanity. It was quite engrossing to play the role of a student, going to classes, studying for your exams and writing your thesis, and I found the whole university life very interesting. Unfortunately, managing the survival elements was less enjoyable and felt there was just too many of them. They distracted from the story that was unfolding, and it is these parts that deter me from returning with much enthusiasm. There are 3 difficulty levels in easy, medium and hard, so I will try the easy difficulty to see if this reveals more story. If you're looking for more of a traditional point-and-click adventure with a full story and inventory management, then you may find this a little disappointing. But if that doesn't bother you, then this is a challenging but interesting experience. Okay, that's all now for my review on Dreams in the Witch House. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. My next review will be for The Wreck, a 3D visual novel about the effects of a car crash has on the family, examining the past, present and future. If you're interested in that one, please click the notification bell and hope to catch you soon.
We just found out that Mom might die. Does that mean nothing to you?
Everything that happened to us, it helped us. There was a reason.
Why the hell do I feel so alone? Do I really have to be so angry? Do I really hate my mother? Memory is weird. You suddenly remember these moments without knowing why, until you realize it's trying to teach you something crucial. No one can live like this, not really. But we can change. Everyone can change.